Hey everyone, welcome to the E2 Effective Elders podcast. Visit us at e2elders.org and please share this good word with others.
Everybody, welcome to our E2 Effective Elder Weekly Podcast. And remember, we are now on Spotify. So if you would prefer only an audio file of the podcast, that is easily attainable. All of 2022, we are looking at this issue of a good word. Our culture is so fundamentally broken. And what we want to do at E2 is bring a good word throughout the entire year, and each month a different good word, wanting to build people up and to encourage them. The month of July is this word rest, R-E-S-T, the word rest. It might be that you're going to vacation in this month of July, it being the height of summer. And if so, the question is, will you get some rest? Or will you put the pedal to the metal and will you need a vacation after getting back from vacation? This month, for these 4 weeks, what we want to do is break down the word rest into 4 memorable words. 4 memorable words that will help us understand rest all the more deeply. R-E-S-T. This week, the letter R is for the word rhythm. Rhythm. There needs to be a rhythm of rest that you and I develop in our lives. Leah, my wife, and I, many years ago, we took some ballroom dancing lessons. And even after many weeks of lessons, and we went out dancing one Friday evening, we were out on the dance floor. Leah said, "Hey, say those 3 words that I love to hear." And I said, "Well, what? I love you?" And she goes, "No. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I do not have rhythm. Got rhythm? The answer is unequivocally no. I cannot echo the words, the lyrics of that song from years ago. I've got rhythm. I don't. Particularly when it comes to this thing called rest. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, the very first 3 words of the Bible, in the beginning. Those words in Hebrew indicate to us that God pushed start on the chronometer of measured time. God created more than just sun, moon, and stars in Genesis chapter 1. He created more than just a broad expanse of land and sea, mountain heights, ocean depths. God is the creator of measured time. And by day 7, God finished his work of creating, and God rested on day 7. At the end of day 6, God had finished all the work of creating that he had done. And on day 7, he rested. Does that mean that God needed a nap? No, not at all. Because in Isaiah chapter 40, verse 28, we read that God does not grow tired or weary. Does it mean that when God rested on that 7th day, that he was exhausted? No, not at all. Because in Psalm 121, verse 4, we read that God does not slumber, nor does he sleep. We'll learn next week from Debbie Poor the letter E. What did God do on that 7th day? The letter E. So be sure to tune in next week. Now, Exodus chapter 20, verses 8 through 11, God gives to us the longest of all 10 commandments, and it's a command to honor the Sabbath day. That there is this one day out of the week when we are to rest, just as God did. It's the longest of the 10 commandments, and it gives to us a rhythm. God in creation was giving to us a rhythm for rest. You know, in Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 16, God said to his people, the Israelites, they were to come into his presence 3 times a year for the Feast of Pentecost, for the Feast of Passover, for the Feast of Tabernacles. So here are these 3 individual times of year, 7 days at a time, when the Israelites were to be together. It developed a rhythm of rest. We read in the Old Testament how in the 7th year, God's people were not to plant any crops. They were to let the land lie unplowed, unused. The land itself was to rest. At the end of a 6th year, as they began a 7th year, they were to let servants go free. There's this rhythm of rest that is clearly patterned in the Word of God. And when you and I understand that we have been made in God's image, Genesis 1, verse 26, 27, we've been made in his image, we should be developing in our lives this rhythm of rest. So here's a question. Do you have a daily sense of rest? Do you devote daily? You have a time of rest during the day. Do you and I, do we withdraw weekly, on a weekly basis, a day of rest? Do we abandon annually? Let's take a vacation. Abandon annually. Devote daily, withdraw weekly, abandon annually. Develop a sense of rhythm, a rhythm of rest. You know, I wouldn't ask the question, got milk, so much as got rhythm. And I hope that you and I are moving into a new rhythm. And it's a rhythm of actually getting some rest. Don't have any sense of guilt in that regard. Enjoy rest. After all, you and I have been made in the image of our God.